Okay, so this is modeling with curves. So I'm going to go Shift A, add in a plane, RX 90, rotating the x-axis 90 degrees. And then I'm going to add in a curve and do the same procedure as before. Edit mode, delete the vertices, make sure you're in the draw function. Make sure your depth is surface. And we're going to sketch out a two-dimensional version of only half a cup, because that's what I'm going to model. So that is pretty good, and we're going to add in the screw modifier right there, and this will fill it out. It'll make like the whole thing around, fully cover it. And we're going to do some minor adjustments. So press W, I'm going to select this vertice down low and this other vertice. I'm going to go SZ0, and it's going to scale them along the Z-axis and make them perfectly equal. I'm going to scale it up because it's going to be like the bottom tin of the cup that kind of like holds it from falling over. And I'm going to mess around with this vertice right here. Alright, and that looks pretty good. Next step is going to be I'm going to click this vertice up here, or any vertice you want. I'm just going to go cursor to selected, Shift A, Bezier. You don't need to do that. I don't know why I did that. I do it just because that's where I'm going to create the handle. And we're going to do the same process. We're going to go Tab, delete the vertices, come to the draw function, make sure it's on surface, and then we're going to draw it on this plane. This plane is pretty much our canvas. And press W. I'm going to extend this out because the handle looks a little too close. That vertice, I'm just going to do Control X and delete it because it's better to it doesn't delete it, it dissolves it. It's better to dissolve the vertices because then it keeps its shape. Do some minor adjustments there, and now we're going to go into the curve data, and I'm going to increase the depth by a little bit, and I'm going to increase the extrusion by just a little bit, just to give it a little bit more of a handle look. And I'm going to finally bring this vertice down. I'm going to scale it to kind of keep it from getting such a pointy edge. And now we have a decent looking handle. Make sure nothing is hiding through, and we can hide this canvas of ours. Cool. That's a decent looking cup. I'm just going to dissolve this vertice here, bring it in a little bit more. Doesn't really matter, you don't need to do that. It won't really do anything in the future because the next step is you can add in more resolution divisions if you want. That'll just give it more geometry for the cup, but I like to save that for later. So I'm just gonna press F3, curve to mesh, and we're gonna apply it. Yep, and now if we go into edit mode, you can see now this thing is a mesh. And to just chop it to take away the top, the lid, so if we come in, I'm just gonna Alt Shift, select those faces, delete them, and then I'm gonna delete that last little edge right there. Yeah. And I think we got a decent looking cup. Now we gotta just give it a little bit of thickness, and we're gonna do that by giving a Solidified Modifier. And you can see we can just give it a little thicker. I'm gonna give it some more geometry, not a bevel because the bevel makes it look all blocky. I'm gonna give it another subsurf. I accidentally think, yeah, I gave it a solidify. I'm gonna give it a subsurf, and immediately that looks a lot better. I'm gonna hide the modifier, and I'm gonna just fill this little circle in, and then I'm gonna unhide it. I'm gonna reapply the modifier. Cool. And that's looking pretty good. I mean, you could make a bowl out of this too if you wanted to. It's not, no big deal. And then I'm gonna just apply the same modifier for that handle. And that is, now we have a cup and a bowl. We have a cup pretty much made with just curves. And we can go in and add it a little bit more detail here. Select these edges along this ridge and just move them out a little bit to kind of give it a little bit more bulging there. As a final step, we can go in and we can select this edge loop, holding down the Alt left click. That'll select all of it, and we're going to enable proportional editing. When we do that, we can move everything together. We want to just scale down the brush a little bit, and that looks pretty good for the top. Then you just have to do the same thing for the bottom, and that looks pretty good. We have a cup, ladies and gentlemen.